the 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness in River Rock Pearl over Black. It's all new. We also have a hybrid variant, 6 trims to choose from. The 6th generation, it's giving us a lot more on the exterior, on the interior, and when you go wilderness, it also increases all the capabilities. I'm Anthony from Supercar Throttle, and the Wilderness is going to start off with an increase of 0.5 inches to 9.2 inches of clearance, opposed to the 8.7 inches of clearance you get standard on all the other trims. 11 different exterior colors to choose from. The Wilderness is also going to have a unique front fascia. The grille has been updated that integrates into the steering response, LED headlights, daytime running. When you think about the price, steering response lights, that itself against the competition is going to make this stand out a little bit more so. Hexagonal fog lights that are unique to the Wilderness, and you get the texture that's going to be around the lower bit as well as the center part of the grille. The Wilderness goes a little bit further though, because when you wax these cars, the hood can glare. They have a glare protectant strip, making it a lot easier to navigate in the sunny state of Florida, even though today is not as sunny. But housed underneath the hood is going to be the same on all 6 trims, which is a 2.5 liter Subaru Boxer 4-cylinder producing 180 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque, paired to a Lineartronic CVT transmission, which will mimic an 8-speed automatic transmission with a standard symmetrical all-wheel drive system, achieving 24 mpgs for the city, 28 mpgs for the highway. And they've thought about every occasion because they also have a hybrid variant. Now, when you go into this Wilderness trim, again, more unique, with all-terrain tires in the matte black. The side fenders flare out. The lower is more pronounced with the Forester in orange. You get the Wilderness plate, and you still get the texture. It's a boxy, modern / off-roadsy appearance all in one, and I think they nailed it. Towing increases by 2,000 pounds only on this trim to 3,500 pounds. 800 pounds you could put on top of these raised roof rails, and if you want it more sleek, they do have a lower rail to make it look a little bit more modern for the people that are not wanting to do all those off-roadsy things. But when you go to the Wilderness, that's why you're picking this trim. When you're talking about competition, Mazda, Toyota, Honda, they're not going to have the same capabilities as this to do all of those trails, not at the price that you're getting. And adding a little bit more aesthetics with the symmetrical all-wheel drive badging here on the side, LED taillights that go into the gloss black bar, Forester print. The lower gets the Subaru in the matte black. You get a single exhaust that's exposed, reverse parking sensors, a reverse camera, and a 180-degree front camera. The con to me, though, is they give you a camera in both, and I get it, it's for taking this off-road, but just give us a 360-degree reverse camera already. I don't want to go up to the top trim in order to get features. You do get the Subaru EyeSight, giving things like a pre-collision braking, adaptive cruise control with lane centering, lane departure, and sway warning, pre-collision throttle management, automatic emergency steering, blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert. So now you're seeing the total value that the Wilderness is bringing you. You will have to option some of the features, which we already have the MSRP at the beginning of the video, so you can just circle back to that to see all the different things that we've added, but I also go over them through the interior and the drive part of the review. Let me know your thoughts. Would you go to the all-new Forester or the competition? If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe if you haven't already, and the like. All these clicks help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles to the channel. Is 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque enough? Well, we're going to find that out through the drive, doing a little bit of performance and daily driving. We're going to check the sound deadening to see how well it's sealed up, if the engine does escalate in the interior for the sound, and if so, how bad is it? Is it something that's bearable? The seat comfort and the ride comfort all blended in. We're going to start with the maneuverability. The steering does have some feedback, so I appreciate that. As for the performance side, I tend to have noticed driving this, you're going to be hitting about 2.5 to 3 RPMs pretty much everywhere. The Lineartronic CVT transmission mimics an 8-speed automatic transmission, so I appreciate that. The Subaru EyeSight is reading the road in front of me at all times, so I do feel a little bit more confident. And if you do use the adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, steering assist, all those good things, it will go about 0.2 to 0.3 miles. But one thing that this vehicle does, opposed to the competition, is when you're going over a section like this, where there's no lines, it will automatically deactivate it, so you have to reactivate it. It won't do this little thing. And you can see there is a little bit of play in the steering, and that's because it's an independent suspension that's also an off-road suspension, so it's meant to do all those capabilities in which you can do some travel whenever you're doing those off-road adventures. And when you go into the wilderness, you're really wanting to capture that. As for the sound, it does filter in through the interior. This is a solid box, so I think it does a pretty darn good job with the sound deadening. You also have the upgraded sound system because we've ticked the box to the upgraded package. As for feeling the imperfections in the road, you do feel some of them. There's really no way around that. But overall, I think they do a pretty good job kind of soaking everything up. And it's also derived because they have a smaller wheel on this vehicle. It can feel peppy. Brakes on the vehicle can stop on a dime. So it doesn't feel heavy when you're mashing on the gas or mashing on the brake pedal. And as for the performance, turn radius to start it off with is about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. It gets up to speed fine, so a daily driving vehicle, it's right on par. This is what you're wanting to do. Take it on adventures, drive it from point A to point B. Comfortable, the seats itself, they do have a good bolster to them. It's not so firm, it's actually pretty soft. Underneath the hood does come into the interior, so the sound deadening could be a little bit more tightened up, but at a $40,000 price, you're not really expecting it to be something like a luxury vehicle. This is, again, an adventure vehicle. Some cons is you have to go into this infotainment screen in order to turn the auto start stop off, and they're doing that with a lot of the automotive industry. It also does have some glitch, as you saw in the interior, and this is the 6th generation, in the fact that they separate the 180-degree front camera like this, and then the reverse camera by itself. If they put it as 2 parts, I guess I would be okay with it, but just like I said, give us a 360 camera. I do like that when you're clicking on inputs like your climate control, it will go off the screen and go back into the home screen, and you still have physical buttons, so you don't really have to be using the touch screen so much unless you're changing any type of commands in it. You have plenty of charging ports. The seat comfort on the passenger side is not as comfortable as the driver. A lot of that is derived because of the fact that it's manual seat adjustments instead of power seat. The back seat, you do sit up a little bit higher. You will feel some vibrations from the road a little bit more so back there. But overall, I mean, this is one of those adventure vehicles that I think it's spot on. I like the 6th generation, what they're done. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here, and I'd like to thank our friends here at Subaru of Lakeland.